So we've got to get into this, and I've been waiting to do this for a while. But I really want to talk about Carlton from Love is Blind, or shall we say Cynthia's assistant. And I really wanted to do an analysis video based on everything that took place. And even after the show ended, he did an Entertainment Tonight interview with Diamond, and they clashed again.
In my mind, I didn't call her out her name.
This is why I don't deal with like you.
In my mind, I didn't call her out her name.
This is why I don't deal with like you.
In my mind, I made a reference that put her into a box of women who were stereotypical and ignorant.
Hey guys, it's Murad Murali. Hope you guys are doing well today. If you haven't already, click that button for daily and consistent content. Head over to my Instagram, Murad_Murali, and subscribe to my podcast. I would really appreciate it. And let's get into this particular video. First and foremost, I do believe Carlton is a gaslighting narcissist. And I do believe he uses his sexuality as a mask, as a veil, to enable and act as a catalyst for his victimhood.
And then also, TV life versus real life. In real life, I need to know for sure that you're for me before we have that conversation, because you may use it against me. It's been used against me before. I've been ridiculed, bashed. Even right now, it's 2020 and I'm getting death threats for sharing my truth as a fluid man on television. We spoke about that.
Yeah, because you also degraded me. We all both said a lot of things that was below the belt.
And once you place yourself in a victim state, you essentially protect yourself, or you find excuses that the other person can't really use you and make you accountable in terms of using you for your own heinous actions. And this is something that has been carried throughout, and I feel like he only apologizes to clean up for his particular image. Apologizing to somebody is, the first step. It doesn't mean that you are now free of what you've done to somebody, and the implications don't really matter. Once you do apologize to somebody, actions need to follow afterwards to show that you have learned and to show that you want to fix a particular situation. And however, we can see here, even post interview when they're talking about it, post the show, and they're talking about it, and you can see that he clearly even says, in my mind, I didn't call her out. In my mind, I wasn't calling her out at all. I was just saying this, saying that. It's hard for us fluid people, hard for us people, because you have heterosexuals and you have gay people, they hate us both. And coming onto the show, he keeps on drawing every single point straight back to his sexuality, because he's using it as a victim particular state so that he doesn't have to hold himself responsible or accountable for his unfortunate bad actions. And this in itself, I feel like, is very sad, because you can see that theoretically, if you actually look at the entire situation that took place on the show, Diamond did nothing wrong. When she first approached him and wanted to speak about it, and then they approached each other again by the pool before the massive argument, she wasn't being aggressive, she wasn't being rude, she was trying to understand, she was just lied to, she was about to get married to this man, and she doesn't know who this man is. It's unfair on Diamond as well. And I feel like Carlton got very upset. His own insecurities, which we all have as individuals, his own insecurities got the better of him, and he quickly deflected, and he was derogatory, rude, and very disrespectful towards his future wife. The things that he was saying out of nowhere.
It is a lie when you're not being honest in the beginning.
So
okay, but like I was saying, so I want
who are
to
your sexual
make
partners
sure.
from the past?
So like I was saying, I do believe love is blind.
Disclose information. Watch your wig, because it keeps sliding.
And she had to walk away because she was being verbally abused. And for him to say, I didn't see how it happened like that, in my mind, that's not how I see it. And he uses the very clever words of clean up. Well, he's busy cleaning up his image. It's a particular kind of promotion, PR parade. Then he quickly talks about death threats to kind of use again as another mask, another barrier to say, woe is me, woe is me. You're getting those death threats because of your actions. And at one point, if you're going to apologize to Diamond, apologize in full. Don't take it back and then look at her and then question her and say that you were saying this behind the scenes, or this happened because of this, or that happened because of you didn't like me being fluid or whatever. It's like pure gaslighting when you are trying to question somebody else's sanity. Diamond has been disrespected. She has been undermined. She is the one who is the victim, unfortunately. She is the one who was taken like a clown, unfortunately, in that whole situation. She is the one who's not in the wrong at all, but she's made to feel. The key word here is feel. She's made to feel like she is in the wrong. And when you are made to feel guilty, even though you are not guilty, your sanity has been questioned because somebody is making you feel like you've hurt them, when in actual fact that did not take place at all. You are being gaslighted. And I feel like everybody in this day and age need to know. They need to know what this terminology is.
Kind of like you're stuck in the middle. I felt like in this experiment, had I gone in the first day and say, hey, I'm fluid, that it would have trickled back to the girl's side, as everything that we said on dates trickled back, and no one would give me a chance to get to know me from my heart. So that was like the whole reasoning behind that.
And what the boundaries are and how it works, because it happens on an everyday basis, and it is very, very common. Very common. And I just feel like I feel very sorry for her, because you can see throughout the entire entertainment type video that they're doing post, he is in complete denial, and he still wants to take her out on a date. He doesn't understand what he's done wrong at all. You can see that she's even getting emotional in this interview, that we can see the analysis. She's getting very emotional, talking about prior people that she knows during verbal altercations in her family that are unfortunately not here, and it started like that, and she's just very emotional. Carlton isn't comforting her. Carlton isn't able to be empathetic when it comes to a situation like this. All he's doing with every single instance is drawing it back to him, everywhere. You are in the wrong. You were disgustingly rude to your future wife. You lied to her. It is hard for you as somebody who is fluid. Everybody can acknowledge that, but nobody is referring to that as the point of wrong here. But you keep doing so to use as barriers. And by doing this and then making the other person feel like they're in the wrong, and you saying that, you know, because you think people are ignorant and stereotypical, look how he's drawing to different inferences. He's using every single textbook kind of inference, talking about ignorance, talking about people who are stereotypical, talking about how he's going to clean up his image and how it's hard for him and his sexuality, every single little thing, but he's ignoring the main thing in the middle, which is his own behavior. And this is what we see here. And then the other person feels guilty because of all the other reasons that they have drawn, and the other person feels like they're the ones in the wrong, and that's how gaslighting takes place. Because you can use different reasons, and then you just confuse their head from emotions, and you kind of push away the facts, and the facts are Carlton was in the wrong. And I'm glad that everybody on the internet can see this. We can all see it for what it really is, and that in itself is good for me, because I feel like Carlton's behavior was absolutely very derogatory and disgusting. We were laughing, it was funny, we were a bit shocked, drama, tea, cool, but the show's over now. But we can still see that he is still trying to do damage control for his image. He never learned anything on the reunion. My man got down on one knee for what? For image, to make his image seem clean, because that's all that matters to him. He doesn't care about Diamond's feelings, because if he had actually cared about disrespecting Diamond, he wouldn't be standing right next to her saying that he doesn't feel like he's done anything wrong. He's backtracked completely in this interview. It took place on the 5th of March, and I really wanted to just get into it properly and really do an entire analysis when it comes to this entire situation. He is an absolute gaslighting narcissist, and I feel like it's just very, very sad, degrading and moronic, and I wanted to do an analysis video on this situation, and hopefully you guys have seen this video. Hopefully you guys have watched the show, watched the reunion, watched that particular altercation that I am talking about. He simply has taken there's no accountability here. There's no remorse here at all. But you're using excuses of her being ignorant or being stereotypical, and you've completely refuted the idea. You've acknowledged it, that you were rude to her, but in the same sentence you also haven't acknowledged it, and you just feel like it is what it is. It didn't happen like that in my mind. I was the one who was being questioned. My insecurities is me, therefore I deflected, therefore it is okay for me to deflect. It wasn't okay for you to do all that at all. And I feel like Diamond is not in the wrong here, but she's made to feel like she is continuously 24/7. And I feel like this really is a reoccurring issue with Carlton, and he just feels like he's somebody who really just wants clout, one of those people who just change up, wants all the clout, was on House of Atlanta anyways. I put a tweet out saying that, hold on, this person looks familiar. I don't know how I recalled it, but I saw it, tweeted it, that tweet went a bit viral. Bravo found the tweet, they used it on their Instagram socials. Other famous big known podcasts talked about it from the socials as well. Other YouTubers mentioned that particular tweet. So everybody was like, whoa, now it's all beginning to make sense, because he really just acted up and switched it. This was the same guy who got kicked out by Kenya. So at the same time, I'm not really surprised by his actions, now knowing that he was on other shows and stuff like this. And you know, this show is set in Atlanta, so I'm not really surprised either. But when you look at some of these past actions as well, I'm not really surprised. But he basically is a gaslighting narcissist, and there are so many people in this life who will gaslight you to your face. So many people who will gaslight you to your whole face, and they'll do it for free. They're not even getting paid to do it, and it just really messes with your head because you sit back, and while that person is just living their best life, you're just sitting back and thinking, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do to get fucked up so badly by this person? It is absolutely crazy. And you look back at it and you replay things in your head, you're like, I wasn't the one that's wrong, was I? Then that was I manipulates and gets bigger and bigger and bigger in your head. And this is what gaslighting does, and it's so scary. So I feel like if you don't know what that word is, search it up, do your research, find out what it is, and then when you do find association and meaning, you'll be able to realize that this probably happened to me in my life, X, Y, Z, here, there. Now, at the same time, everybody could be gaslighted, but you could also be in the wrong as well in particular situations. So don't feel like you're always in the right. It's healthy to pick out how you're wrong in situations and, you know, take accountability, and that's what people should be doing as well as being in the right. But I wanted to do a quick video on this situation because Carlton is somebody who I feel is very troubling. Let me know what your thoughts are when it comes to this 10-minute video. What are your thoughts? Please subscribe, click that button, subscribe to my podcast, rate and review, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.